quarterfinal quadruple header continues from Boston College, home of the reigning national champions, the BC Eagles, hosting the Ivy League champs, the Yale Bulldogs. Earlier today, Madison Taylor making history, setting the single-season goals record, scoring 6 goals in Northwestern's win against Penn. The Wildcats headed back to the Final Four, and so is Florida. The Gators just took down Duke. So back-to-back Final Fours for the Florida Gators. So 2 spots have been secured in Foxborough, 2 up for grabs. Will it be BC or Yale? Charlotte North, Jay Alter with you. Foxborough just 25 miles away from where we are at Boston College, right down the road. What are you looking for in this quarterfinal matchup?
Well, for Boston College, they're chasing their 8th straight championship weekend appearance. But for the Yale Bulldogs, they're looking for their first ever appearance in the Final Four in program history.
These 2 teams, so much talent, so much veteran leadership, so much star power. Who leads the way for you?
For the Boston College offense, all eyes are on number 1, Rachel Clark. She's 2nd in the nation in goals with 95. She's a Tewaaraton finalist. She is a pure scorer. She loves to attack north-south, has an explosive first step. But for me, what really separates her from the bunch is her wrists and her ability to have a unique release point. And then you've got another Tewaaraton finalist for this Eagles squad in cage. Shea Dolce, in her last 5 games, she's at 64% in cage.
Dolce's been outstanding all season, will be tested against this Yale attack, headlined by Jenna Collignon.
Jenna Collignon set a program record, now leads all time for Yale in goals, passing Tracy Ball, a record that was held for 44 years. She's a tall, rangy, right-handed attacker, creates a ton of high-percentage shot opportunities for herself off the dodge. And on the other end of the field for this Bulldog squad, they've got one of the best defenses in the nation. 4th in scoring defense. They play a zone that's conservative in some areas, high pressure in others.
Faf, the goalie, just a freshman, 9-0 since taking over the starting job. A Bulldogs team that has reached the quarterfinal stage for a 2nd straight year. Never been to a Final Four in school history. They're hoping that changes today. They'll have to take down the reigning champs if they want to do it. A perennial power in this sport. Boston College, who starts on possession in white, an Eagles program that has been to 7 straight national championship games. They play their best lacrosse when it matters most in May.
You see this Yale defense playing their zone identity. They'll try to pressure out behind the cage, but up top they stay very packed in, and they like to contain the cutters on the inside. Number 2 in blue, Molly McGuckin, always monitoring as the rover.
This Boston College offense struggled in the 2nd round matchup against Stony Brook. Only 10 goals against a zone, but this is a much different zone.
Different in terms of the types of pressure, the pockets in which they will come out and blitz you.
Great save, Faf tested early, and the freshman delivers.
Faf is 3rd nationally in goals against average behind Betty Nelson of North Carolina and Shea Dolce of Boston College, but they turn it over in the clear right by goal line extended.
And that could be some nerves. You're playing the reigning champs on the road in a quarterfinal when your program's never been to championship weekend. Yale struggling on that first clear. And this is a BC offense that'll usually make you pay if you give them extra opportunities. So much firepower. Here's McKenna Davis. She's the Eagles quarterback. And a 3-headed monster along with Emma Lapinto, 13 in white, and Rachel Clark, who has it here, 1 in white. A lot of contact. And a foul called. It's going to go against Yale and give Rachel Clark a free position.
Looks like a blocking call there as the Yale defense tried to collapse in the zone. Katie Clare was out of position, so that will be a blocking call and award Rachel Clark this 8-meter hash.
And this is who you want taking it. BC's leading goal scorer, Rachel Clark. 95 goals on the season. Make it 96. Blows it right past Faf and opens the scoring for Boston College.
one of the most elite goal scorers in our game, has such a quick release with her wrists. Look at the way she gets her stick in tight, but still generates power that comes from her wrist snapping through the ball, and she places that shot perfectly on the off-hip location of Faf in cage. That is a high IQ play.
What's amazing about this season is that both Rachel Clark and Madison Taylor could very well get past that previous single-season goal record, 103 goals. Taylor did it earlier today in their quarterfinal win against Penn, reaching 105. Clark's now at 96. So two historic goal-scoring seasons we're
witnessing history. Two of the best at putting the ball in the back of the net, and they do it in such different ways, which I think is what's most exciting for lacrosse fans to be able to watch.
Jenna Kalignan winning the draw to herself. So versatile for this Bulldogs team, the senior who just turned 23.
Setting a program record for goals, but she also takes the draw. You see her swap her stick out. She takes the draw with a draw stick and then swaps to her regular attacking stick here. But Kalignan has the ability to impact a game in both the possession circle and on the offensive end.
As we're talking about goal-scoring records, Kalignan set the Yale program record last week in the win against Syracuse. 211 career goals to her name, 14 in blue.
Boston College plays a much different style of defense. Man-to-man, they like to trust their 1v1s. So if you're the Yale offense, you gotta get a matchup that's favorable to you, that you think you can win that 1v1 battle and draw a double team or draw a slide.
And BC turns the Bulldogs over.
This is a defense that can be swarming with pressure in transition and in settled sets.
Well, Boston College 18-0 this season when they're not playing North Carolina. 0-2 against the top-seeded Tar Heels, who play later on tonight to finish our quarterfinal Thursday on ESPNU. Wall-to-wall lacrosse. What a great finish that was at Gainesville between Florida and Duke, and we're hoping for another close competitive one at Chestnut Hill. Emma Lapinto lost contact before she could get her hands free.
Boston College trying to generate those assisted opportunities. That is when they find the most success, is when they're finding the passing lanes through the gaps of a zone. But you see Molly McGuckin, number 2 for Yale, on the defensive end, monitoring the inside, collapsing on those cutters, getting a stick in the passing lane. This will be a green card violation for a foul committed in between the restraining lines. Emma Claire Quinn will take a seat in the box for 1 minute releasable penalty. So any foul committed in between those two 30-yard marks will be given a 1 minute releasable penalty.
So woman up opportunity for Yale as the Bulldogs launch into the power play. Leading goal scorer for Yale this season, number 7 in blue, Fallon Vaughn, part of this special senior class. During this 4-year span, most wins in program history, 55. They could take it to new heights today. They can reach the program's first ever Final Four. Here's Vaughn with it. Trying to squeeze it in. And it's turned over. Dolce lost it. Kalignan wins it back. Finds Vaughn, who scores! Yale relentless on the ride. Cashes in on the power play. Great hustle. Kalignan and Vaughn combining to tie it at 1.
Fitting that it was Fallon Vaughn coming up with the hustle play for this Bulldogs team. Recognizes they didn't capitalize on the man-up opportunity. So what does she do? She gets it back in the ride, gets a stick on the clear, stays in the play, and it's so heads up by the unanimous first-team All-Ivy member, Fallon Vaughn. You mentioned the senior class, the leadership. 16 members of that class who have brought this program to new heights. And Fallon Vaughn has been the do-it-all player for them.
Well, this senior class largely was set to enroll in either 2020 or 2021, but because the Ivy League was not playing in 2021 because of COVID, they took the year off, sacrificed a year because they wanted to play lacrosse. Speaking with their head coach, Erica Bamford, she said they just love the sport, they love to compete, and here they are competing on the biggest stage with a chance to go to championship weekend. To do it, they'll have to knock off the reigning champs.
And the two members of that senior class that their head coach named leading the way is number 12 right here. You see who just came up with that draw control. Taylor Lane and Fallon Vaughn really being the heartbeat of that senior class, of that core leadership group that has willed this team to back-to-back Ivy League tournament championships and quarterfinal appearances.
And when they were getting recruited, Yale was the bottom of the Ivy League. And they have taken them to the top back-to-back years. They have been Ivy League champions back-to-back years. They have been to the quarterfinals. Great takeaway by Morgan Smith.
Unbelievable reaction behind the cage. One-handed grab on the perimeter pass by Morgan Smith, the grad transfer from Penn.
3 caused turnovers by Boston College in this opening quarter. 4 turnovers total for this Yale team.
And you couldn't see it at the top portion of your screen, but Fallon Vaughn was being face-guarded by Emma Claire Quinn, the freshman defender for Boston College. So they're electing to try to deny Fallon Vaughn the ball in settled offensive sets.
McKenna Davis, great feed and a quick stick finish. Kylie Colbert. A Boston College uses that Morgan Smith caused turnover and cashes in on the other end quickly.
Unbelievable awareness. Reading that pass, trying to go through X. Morgan Smith with the one-handed interception, and that triggers a quick transition. When you play against a zone defense, a lot of times the focus is to beat them in transition, to not let them get set up in their preferred zones. And you see McKenna Davis trigger that pace right away. When the ball hit her stick, she already knew where those layered cuts would be down the middle. And it's Kylie Colbert who finishes it off on the doorstep.
Calignan wins it to herself again, using that 5'10" frame.
Calignan does such a good job of using her strength, using her wrist reaction time to get that ball in front of her. So she tracks it all the way in off the draw, and that wins them possession.
And Charlotte, you were just saying on the previous possession, 7 in blue, Fallon Vaughn.
Being denied the ball by Emma Claire Quinn, so that's the assignment the freshman defender drew. She is trying to shut her off on the bottom right hand of your screen. And it looks like Yale's gonna operate in the 6-on-6.
Well, there's 2 philosophies, right? You can attack that face guard or pull that player out and make it 6v6.
And right here, they're gonna try to get her involved.
Yeah, they do. So here's Fallon Vaughn facing that face guard, trying to shake free. And you experience this, Charlotte. Sometimes when you're being face guarded, you can force it when you do have the ball. Calignan weaving in, couldn't get her hands free. Suffocating defense by BC. The Eagles defensively dialed in to start this quarterfinal.
You saw Fallon Vaughn, the second she touched the ball, the double team came to her, and they tried to find Calignan on the backside, but the Boston College defense recovered quicker than the ball was moving. Something this defense does extremely well is they recover on a string after a double team has been sent.
Yeah, BC with a clear game plan. They have been pushing it in transition, trying to find a quick strike. Here's McKenna Davis. And now LaPinto. Mia Mascone, former Ivy Leaguer. Brown transfer, has had a ton of success this season coming over to Boston College. And Rachel Clark, you can't give her an inch. Fires the Eagles up 3-1.
Patience on the offensive end for the Eagles pays off. Their quarterback draws two, and it's the second leading goal scorer in the nation who buries it with her left hand. The Eagles are up 3-1.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
Yourself.
At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo. You can change your color here. And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do. So whenever you start a project,
Don't worry,
you're not alone.
we can do this together.
So what are you working on?
The NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com.
No, we are a week away from the best weekend in the sport, championship weekend, and we hope it was as fun as it was a year ago. We're taking a look at the championship game from last season, back and forth. BC beating Northwestern in thrilling fashion. That Shea Dolce save. They're still talking about it here in Chestnut Hill as Acacia Walker earned Boston College their second ever national championship. They'd love to go back-to-back. It's right down the road in Foxborough. The men and the women crowning a champion together this season, which is so fun. It just feels like this Boston College program has become a staple of championship weekend.
Unbelievable what head coach Acacia Walker has built here in Chestnut Hill, attempting to go to their 8th straight Final Four. And each team each year looks vastly different. But her attempt and goal of getting to championship weekend remains the same.
Yeah, the players change, but Boston College being a championship weekend is the same.
And you mentioned it being at Gillette in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Last time it was there was 2017, and that was the first time Boston College had made the Final Four in program history.
What are we doing, picking up ice? Isn't it just gonna melt?
We can confirm it's not snowing here in Chestnut Hill.
Well, Boston College has done a great job in this first quarter, making Yale uncomfortable. The Bulldogs, 5 turnovers in this opening quarter, 4 of those caused turnovers by the Boston College defense.
And that's uncharacteristic for this Yale team. They have the second least amount of turnovers in the nation. So they're used to playing a disciplined style of lacrosse, not making too many errors.
And they've done very well on the draw, but when you turn it over like that, it neutralizes all the extra possessions you're getting. Here's Fallon Vaughn, who was face guarded for much of this first quarter. Splits 2, goes to goal. Draws the foul.
Cross check inside the 8-meter as Fallon Vaughn was dodging the cage. That'll give her a foul shot on the second inside hash.
Vaughn has started every game since arriving to campus her freshman year. A false start called against Emma Claire Quinn. So Vaughn will reload. Vaughn one-on-one with Dolce, beats her. Fallon Vaughn brought some serious heat on that free position to beat Dolce.
She was being shut off early on in this game, but she gets involved. Getting the ball on the perimeter, operating in that two-man pick play, drives hard to the cage and draws a foul, and then steps up and buries this with a textbook overhand outside shot.
What makes Vaughn's game so unique is you can use her all over the field. Was at midfield for much of her career, but has moved to attack. And Erica Bamford said, we can put her anywhere and we trust her to execute.
She's tied for first on the team in caused turnovers. Just speaks to what she brings to this team. It feels like she could be placed anywhere in an offensive set. She can dodge from up top. She comes up with draw controls, as you see right here, and she can invert from behind. We've seen that a lot this season. She's occupied behind the cage at X and been quarterbacking an offense, even though she's transitioned from the midfield down to more of an attacking role.
Yeah, right on cue, Vaughn wins the draw control. Do-it-all senior for a senior class that has done it all for Yale.
You can see they're trying to get her involved in the pick play again to generate a switch of the defense.
Feeds it inside, good look, and it squeezes right through Dolce. Sky Carasquillo, another senior, Bulldogs' leading scorer, just notched her 51st goal of the season to tie it at 3.
Carasquillo, such a tall frame, tall presence on the inside, but it all starts with Fallon Vaughn. She slips off of the pick. The double team goes to the ball in Taylor Lane. And then you find your inside cutter who is open in Sky Carasquillo. That's that triangle offense operating out of a double team quickly to find the open player.
There's Yale head coach Erica Bamford in her 10th season. First time ever in program history that Yale has made back-to-back trips to the quarterfinal. Lost last year in the quarterfinal to Syracuse. They avenged that loss twice this season, including last week in the second round matchup. And now if they're going to win their way in to the school's first ever championship weekend, they'll have to beat the reigning champs. Great speed by Bella Savino, the junior. And Yale could settle down. They have dominated possession, Charlotte, in this opening quarter.
And it comes from the draw control. They're winning the 50-50 battles. Coming up with extra possessions. And a lot of the draw is that 3-on-3 unit. About being on a string and operating, boxing other players out and beating the opposing team to the draw, to the ball.
Vaughn shakes free of the face guard and scores! It's a first quarter hat trick for Fallon Vaughn. And the senior fires the Bulldogs in front.
Fallon Vaughn has been involved in every goal that has been scored for her team today, finding ways to match the pressure. She's being face guarded by Julia Hodel for Boston College, and this is a textbook backdoor cut. When you feel the defense overplaying your top side, you turn on the jets and you explode with a backdoor cut. Catches it on the run, throws in subtle hesitation, subtle deception to get Dolce to get off her line, buries it on the run.
3 goals in 1 minute and 33 seconds for Yale. The Bulldogs take the lead. Now, Fallon Vaughn is a senior who is going to be remembered for a long time for Yale, win or lose today, and you are seeing why in this first quarter. An inspired performance at BC, making an adjustment at the draw control, Charlotte.
Yale dominating right now, that statistical category 6-1, so they make a change with Mallory Hasselback, the senior captain, coming in. She's a left-handed draw taker, so a little bit of a different look.
You'll try anything to earn possession. Without the ball, there's nothing BC can do, and Yale is dominating the draw They're on a 3-goal surge right now in this first quarter.
This Boston College defense likes to play with a lot of on-ball pressure, so it can be a tiring style of defense to play, especially going back-to-back long possessions.
Here's Taylor Lane. Finds Calignan. Goes to goal. Dolce got a piece of it. Scramble for the ground ball. Dolce's out of her cage. Draws the foul. It'll be BC ball.
Yale is strategically placing Jenna Calignan on the backside of their offense, trying to get her an opportunity to dodge on recovering defenders. That's how she got her hands free there, but Dolce had the answer, playing a great angle on her arc.
It's been a while since BC has been on possession. Last time the offense had the ball, they made it 3-1. They touch it again, down 4-3.
Sometimes, Jay, that can speed up your process and force you to take a shot early in the shot clock. But in order to break down a zone defense, you gotta be patient and continue to attack on the perimeter.
Pinto double teamed, loses possession, it falls to Rachel Clark.
That's where this Yale defense is lethal, behind the cage. That's where they choose to pressure out in those pockets.
Shot clock down to 20. And Davis can't keep it in play.
Errant skip pass across the heart of the defense by Molly Driscoll. Hard to track. And that Yale zone staying so true up top in position to be able to deter those lanes, playing with a big stick, but staying disciplined on the top of that arc.
Yale had those 5 early turnovers. Looked uncomfortable at the start of this game. They have now found a rhythm on the road against the defending national champions. A 4-3 lead in the offense, in really good form right now. Fallon Vaughn's been a big part of that. Lost the handle there. Shea Baker comes up with it. Dangerous in transition. BC's offense at their best when they go quick strike. They tried to do it there.
Number 14, Shea Baker, the lockdown defender, stays on in transition. She has versatility. She can score, and she can dish the ball in transition, sparking those man-up opportunities. See, she stays on all the way through that play.
Davis finds Clark, who bounces it home. Rachel Clark, great extension. What a finish. That's as close to an alley-oop as you'll get in the sport of lacrosse.
Love the comparison, Jay. It looks like one that you're seeing a layup in basketball off the alley-oop, but it comes from the swarming backside pressure of this Boston College defense and Shea Baker, who is so scrappy on every ground ball. McKenna Davis right here draws 2 members of the zone defense. She draws both the left and the right crease defenders, and that's what opens up the interior. And Rachel Clark goes up, reaches for it, and buries it, almost like a slam dunk.
What an opening quarter this has been. The Ivy League champs going punch for punch with the reigning national champs, Boston College, in what has been a phenomenal quarterfinal so far. Florida and Northwestern have already secured their spots in championship weekend. Fallon Vaughn, a lot of contact there, a hard whistle and a green card comes out. No, it's a yellow card. So a yellow card against the Eagles will send Yale back on the power play.
Take a look right here. You got to be disciplined when you're trying to go for that check. Cannot swing into the head and neck area, and Shea Baker catches the head area of Fallon Vaughn, so that'll be a 2-minute non-releasable, or releasable, penalty for number 14, Shea Baker. And you got to be careful because 2 yellow cards in one game sends you out of the game. You are ejected from competition.
And Yale can just sit on this ball, and they'll take possession into the second quarter. The power play will carry over as well. BC not pressing out. You couldn't have asked for a much better start to this first quarter. Tied at 4 in our third quarter final. Yale at Boston College. Been a fun one through one quarter.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray?
You want to hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these to Dad.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
There's losing, but then there's being the loser. Game time comes with enough pressure. Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the NCAA.
Coach, they're trying to take Fallon Vaughn out of this game with a face guard, and yet she finds ways to score in that first quarter. What a special player. How has she done it?
I mean, Fallon Vaughn is a competitor. I see this every single day in practice, so I'm not surprised, quite honestly. BC's defense has done a phenomenal job causing turnovers on our offense, and so we just got to stay focused and get some of our other guys going as well on the offensive end. But she's had a great start to this game.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Great insight from Erica Bamford. Her Yale Bulldogs tied at 4 with Boston College as we're about to start the second quarter. Charlotte North, Jay Alter with you. Fallon Vaughn, 3 goals, 1 assist in that first quarter. Part of all 4 Yale goals. Been a great season for this Bulldogs program. Ivy League champions, currently enjoying a 9-game winning streak. Interesting, Charlotte, their season's been a 7-game winning streak, then a 3-game losing streak, and now a 9-game win streak. Those 3 losses all coming in a 2-week span.
And we talked to head coach Erica Bamford about that midseason stumble, and she said it was a great thing for her team, and the players took those 3 losses extremely hard. They did a lot of self-scouting and self-reflection and challenged themselves to up the ante in practice and every day with the details of what it was going to take to continue to improve as the season has gone on, and it feels like they're playing their best lacrosse as of late.
And they dominated the draw in that first quarter, 8-1 in favor of Yale. There will be no draw to start this second quarter because the Bulldogs ended on the power play. It's Yale possession, woman up to start.
You see Fallon Vaughn is now behind the cage at X. She likes to operate back there, invert a little bit more this season than we've seen in years past, showing her quarterbacking ability, her vision, and her creativity around the crease.
Boston College goalie Shea Dolce, one of the best in the country, only 1 save in that first quarter. She's been integral to Boston College's postseason success in the previous 2 seasons. Got to get her going against this Yale offense. Hard foul. He'll earn a free position here.
They're going to call a push on this that affected the shot for Sky Carasquillo, so she's going to get an 8-meter opportunity.
Carasquillo, Vaughn, Calignan, and Lane. Those 4 seniors that have taken Yale to new heights. Carasquillo, the senior from Alpharetta, Georgia. One-on-one with Dolce. Goes to goal and scores! Carasquillo blows it right past Dolce. It fires Yale back in front.
Carasquillo, one of those senior leaders. She's tall and rangy, and she has the ability to change levels on her shot. You see, as she's approaching this 8-meter, she starts on a line a little bit left of the goal. That frees her stick side for just an extra second. That allows her to drop her hands and send that shot from low to high. That change of levels is extremely hard for a goalkeeper to read.
And with Yale continuing to dominate at the draw, 8-1 in that first quarter. Boston College continuing to shake it up in the circle. Mallory Hasselbeck taking her second draw of this game. Yale wins possession.
Ball start, jump before the whistle there will award the Bulldogs possession.
Our quarterfinals continue next with undefeated #1 North Carolina hosting Princeton. It has been a great day of lacrosse. Northwestern started it all, beating Penn earlier today, and then Florida held off an incredible Duke comeback effort in that fourth quarter. So the Gators and the Wildcats, they have advanced to championship weekend. Interesting enough, both teams were in the Final Four a year ago, as was Boston College. So those 3 would be the same if the Eagles can win this game. And then we'll get a new finalist with Syracuse being knocked out by Yale last week in the second round. Or will it be either North Carolina or Princeton?
Unbelievable slate of games that we've had already. I think this is the best day in lacrosse when there's wall-to-wall action all day long, with the stakes being higher than ever. A spot at championship weekend on the line.
All eyes on Foxborough. Just 25 miles from here. Shot clock down to 15.
Bulldogs continuously going to Fallon Vaughn, number 7 in blue, to try to draw the double team and find the backside.
5 seconds to shoot. Just thrown at the cage. Dolce denies the Fallon Vaughn behind the back after she had fumbled the original catch.
Vaughn is ready at all times.
That was almost a spectacular finish.
And Dolce closes the door with that high arc.
Take another look at this.
Last-ditch effort at the end of the shot clock. The rebound comes outside of the crease, but Vaughn scoops it up one-handed and goes lefty behind the back. Dolce comes up with the save there.
Dolce's instincts from in close are as good as I've ever seen.
I mean, we all remember the save at the end of the national championship a year ago. Just seems like she gets better with every game, and this season been playing some of the best lacrosse we've seen a goalkeeper play in this sport.
Davis weaving through traffic, draws the foul as she sets up for the free position. I look at the crowd we've got here. Standing room only. This is an awesome atmosphere for this quarterfinal, and the game is living up to it.
The fans have certainly showed out today in Chestnut Hill for this epic seeded matchup with so much on the line.
Davis winding up. She's a threat to pass this time. Goes to goal and scores! McKenna Davis, not just a feeder. The All-ACC first-teamer ties it at 5.
She's got the vision, she's got the handle, she's got the inside finishing ability, but she also has the outside shooting range. It's the subtle deception when she sets up for this 8-meter. She's looking away, looking like she's gonna make a pass across the 8-meter to a teammate, as we so often see with number 3 for Boston College. But that last look off is what opens up that shooting lane and allows her to sneak it near side low.
We were just talking about that awesome atmosphere. This is neon season. If you're a Boston College fan, we mentioned 7 straight trips to championship weekend, and that means there's going to be neon in the crowd. You play in those bigger stadiums. Acacia Walker said, we wanted to be able to see our fans from anywhere, and that neon will do it.
And that started right down the road at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, 2017, when the Boston College Eagles went to their first ever Final Four in program history, and you could see the neon taking over for these players to be able to recognize family, friends in the stands. And now it's a color worn by all Eagles fans around the country. Jenna Calignan, number 14, right here with the ball. One of the best goal scorers in program history for Yale.
Dolce keeps out the bouncer. What a heavyweight matchup that is. Calignan against Baker, one of the best scorers in the country against one of the best defenders.
And if you like 1v1 battles, a Dodger versus a defender, keep your eyes on that matchup. But the Yale Ride comes up with another possession.
Taylor Lane with a head of steam. Goes to goal and scores! Taylor Lane, a relentless ride, puts the ball in the back of the net, and Yale back in front, 6-5.
Taylor Lane, the senior midfielder who's having the best season of her career, production-wise, does a little bit of everything. Is such a threat with and without the ball, but shows her blazing speed in the midfield right here. That little pump fake towards Calignan is what gets the defense to freeze, to bite for just a second, and that wins her that lane towards the cage. Veteran play coming up with that turnover and taking that all the way through.
Oh, we were just talking about Acacia Walker's neon crowd. All the folks that have made the trip, easy drive from New Haven, loud and proud here in Massachusetts. Plenty to shout about in this first half. A back and forth affair in the quarterfinal. 5 lead changes already today. Big pickup by Morgan Smith. She's been outstanding in this first half for BC.
And we talked about coming into this game, defenses. 2nd and 4th defenses nationally in scoring for Boston College and Yale, respectively. But we've seen a lot of goals being scored in this first half.
Yeah, I thought goals would be at a premium. Maybe a game even played in the single digits or 10, 11 goals. We are on a much bigger pace than that. This is high-level lacrosse, back and forth, as it should, with a spot in championship weekend on the line. Both the men and the women crowning a champion right down the road, 25 miles from here in Foxborough next week. Crossfield pass finds Molly Driscoll. Shooting space, and Driscoll will step up for an 8-meter opportunity.
Boston College trying to combat the zone with ball movement through all 4 quarters of the offensive set. That's what sets up that skip passing lane from Davis to Driscoll, who draws the shooting space foul.
Driscoll, the lefty, decides to pull it out.
When you play in a zone defense, you want to make sure you occupy the backside and you're ready to collapse, but you can't get caught in those shooting lanes. You've got to be either marking somebody or out of those shooting lanes directly towards the cage. Otherwise, you'll be caught in that shooting space foul.
Acacia Walker saying, hurry up, shot clock is under 10. Risky pass, and it's intercepted. Collignon keeps it in play, clears it for Yale.
That was Becca Gill coming up with that caused turnover. Stick in the passing lane, always reading the eyes. That Yale defense reads the eyes of the Boston College offensive players to try to track those passes down.
Well, this is a Yale team that so far has proven they are unafraid, playing the reigning national champs, a perennial power in the sport. After those early growing pains, 5 turnovers to start this game, they have really settled in, playing some confident lacrosse right now.
And offensively, they're being incredibly patient to try to get the dodging lanes that they want. You see how much space they're giving Collignon to operate.
She uses it. Dolce, the save lane, whizzes it wide. Boston College wins the run out. Monster save by Dolce.
And if you're Jenna Collignon, that's the look you want. That's the isolation dodging opportunity that you want. You're going against Shea Baker. Your teammates are clearing through for you to give you the lane. Dolce has the answer again.
And a green card comes out against Fallon Vaughn for a foul in between the 30s. So Boston College will go on the power play here.
Looks like this was an offsides call. Going over that restraining line. You cannot cross over, otherwise the shot clock will reset and it will be a green card violation, a 1-minute releasable penalty.
BC only 1 goal so far in this second quarter. Opportunity here, woman up. Lapinto scores! Emma Lapinto, so slippery! Splits 2 and buries it.
The quarterback, McKenna Davis, dodges hard, draws 2, and it's Lapinto who slips through the backside, buries it through pressure. We've got a good one in Chestnut Hill.
Absolue, The New Intense Fragrance by Jean-Paul Gaultier.
The Travelers Championship, your all-access pass, starts here.
Looking forward to that. Zubin and Rachel. Boy, I love when Rachel Pacheco talks defense. The only defender ever to win the Tewaaraton, which goes to the nation's best player. Looking forward to that at halftime. Now tied at 6, the officials have gone to the monitor for a coach's challenge for a dangerous follow-through. Let's take a look together.
So the coaches called for this challenge. You cannot follow through into the body of a defender with your stick as you are shooting. So the Yale coaching staff felt like Becca Gill got hit on the follow-through by Lapinto. Hard to tell from that angle if she made contact with her arms.
And it's important to remember it was called on the field. A good goal, so you need indisputable evidence to overturn this. I don't know that we got a definitive look.
And each coaching staff gets 2 challenges, so this Yale coaching staff electing to use one of their challenges here.
So the officials are currently over at the monitor.
Hard to tell if there's enough evidence in this review to overturn the call that was made on the field.
While we are waiting for the call, we'll remind you the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championship going right down the road in Foxborough next week. Semifinals start Friday, May 23rd, 3 Eastern, right here on ESPNU. NCAA.com, your official home for all 90 NCAA championships. So the call stands. Good goal, and I think that's the right call.
And Yale will lose a timeout as a result of losing that challenge.
There just was nothing definitive.
Not enough evidence, right. The call on the field, the only way to overturn it is to have clear enough video evidence to overturn.
Yale continues to dominate the draw.
11 draw controls for the Bulldogs. Jenna Collignon has done a superior job directing the ball, keeping it close, not making it a circle game, pushing it too far out of her reach. She's been able to track it out of the air.
Here's the good news for Boston College, though. Usually a team that is losing the draw 11-2 is losing. And this is still a tie game at 6. So they have really overcome the discrepancy at the draw.
You can see this Yale offense is trying to attack from up top, north-south dodging to try to get this defense to spin.
Kelly Holmes, the freshman, finds the senior Taylor Lane. And now Jenna Collignon, the Bulldogs' leading scorer.
Electing to go in the 6-on-6 with Fallon Vaughn being face guarded again. So Vaughn stands, trying to get involved now.
They get it to her. Couldn't get her hands free there, and an easy save for Shea Dolce. 5 saves for Dolce in this first half. Shea Baker clears it for the Eagles. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Tied at 6 between the Ivy League champions Yale and the reigning national champions at Boston College. Clark spinning through a triple team. Passes out of it. Now Davis trying to spin her way free.
This Yale zone defense does such a good job collapsing. When they want to trap and double the ball, they collapse very clean. They don't foul, but they collapse and keep and contain the offense to one side or one quarter.
Shot clock down to 20. Davis squeezes into Clark. Good look. Usually she'll finish it from there.
You see Clark is operating on the interior of the zone, trying to work off ball to generate some assisted opportunities.
Mia Mascone sends that over. Shot clock down to 1, and BC cashes in. Lapinto just beats the shot clock, rescues that possession, and puts Boston College back up by 1.
As time is winding down, Mia Mascone sends it wide, but Davis heads up play to catch that shot from behind, and this is where Lapinto is so lethal. It's in the off-ball crease awareness category. She's so heads up, playing off of the play. She knows where that ball's headed and exactly where she needs to step up into the lane. Right above goal and extended to give her an angle on cage.
Lapinto, 2 goals in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Gives Boston College the lead, 7-6. Lapinto, such a big game player. He transfers from Florida, part of that national championship team a year ago. Now trying to go back-to-back. And Clark and Lapinto, they transfer in together, and they have been the heartbeat of this BC offense.
Boston College electing to go back to Abby Herod, the draw taker.
And it pays off.
Shea Baker on the circle comes up with that 50-50 ground ball. But the draw is such a battle, especially when the stakes are so high. And Jenna Collignan has been phenomenal so far in this contest.
Just the 3rd draw control win of the night for Boston College. There have not been many times in this game where BC has had back-to-back possessions. Can they cash in? Lapinto fires that one over the top. High heat.
Boston College offense is trying to redirect the ball, drive up one side and pass back against the grain to find lanes.
Eagles are getting a lot of good looks on this possession. Just can't finish them. Lapinto trying to do that. Curls around and scores! Emma Lapinto, 3 straight goals for the senior. And BC leads by 2.
We just talked about her off-ball awareness and the way this Yale defense will blitz at X. So they draw the double. McKenna Davis does right behind the net. And that is Emma Lapinto's cue to attack the gap. When she sees the double go, she plays so well off the ball, knows exactly where the space is going to be. We saw on the previous goal, it was on the right side, goal line extended. This time, she shows the two-handedness with her left-handed crease presence.
Emma Lapinto, 3 straight goals in under 4 minutes. Herod wins it to herself. This is the best the Eagles have looked in this first half. Davis trying to keep possession alive. Mia Mascone scoops up the ground ball.
Even when you win a draw control, in all these games today, the play continues on. Both teams have a relentless ride that does not stop at the restraining line. Relentless pressure to try to get that ball on the ground.
Lapinto finds Clark. Both Rachel Clark and Emma Lapinto, first half hat tricks for Boston College. They've got 6 of the Eagles' 8.
If you're this Yale zone defense, you gotta continue to be big with your stick in the presence on the inside, trying to deter those passing lanes for the Eagles that they're finding near that crease area.
Davis trying to squeeze it into Clark. It falls to Lapinto instead, who scores! Emma Lapinto can't stop scoring! Make it 4 in a row for Emma Lapinto.
When it feels like the play is broken or it's the end of a shot clock, keep your eyes on number 13. Picks up the ground ball and immediately attacks the backside. It's the awareness by the senior attacker to understand where they are in their offensive possession. If she took an extra second to survey the defense, she wouldn't have had that lane to go to goal. Such a great and dynamic player with the ball in her stick, but even more so off ball and being one step ahead of the play.
Neve Pfaff, the freshman goalie for Yale, saved the first shot she's seen, but has allowed 9 goals since. Only that one save that came a minute and 12 seconds into this game. But BC has the freshman goalie's number in this second quarter.
And Pfaff has had a phenomenal freshman campaign for this Bulldogs team. She's third nationally in goals against, averaging around 8 goals against. But this Boston College team has found a way to generate those high percentage opportunities. If you're this Yale offense, you want to continue to try to get Fallon Vaughn involved. She's being face guarded, but there are other ways to get her involved, whether it's in a pick play, a 2-man game, or setting her up for a cut.
Well, BC with all the momentum at the end of this second quarter. The Eagles have scored 4 straight goals, all of them belonging to Emma Lopinto. Can Yale pull one back before halftime? 57 seconds to do it. Sky Carrasquillo trying to shake free, spinning her hands free. Great save! Shea Dolce to the rescue.
The swarming ride, though, of the Bulldogs win it back Taylor Lane. We've seen it earlier in this contest. She does not stop with the pressure on the perimeter, no matter what the situation is.
She has been everywhere for Yale. Carrasquillo into the side netting.
Carrasquillo is an elite dodger from the perimeter. She garners the respect of an opposing defense, draws the double team, but is unable to capitalize. In the Boston College late first half surge from Emma Lopinto puts the Eagles up 3 heading into the half.
And what a finish to that first half for Emma Lopinto. A special individual effort, 4 unanswered goals. Lopinto's got all of them. Yale scoreless for the last 10 minutes of that first half, and it's the Eagles with a 9-6 lead at the break. You'll be in the studio after this break.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray.
You want a hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite, obey your thirst.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated.
We will dance to get.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
Krista, it's time to fess up.
About?
You're over 45 and still haven't screened for colon cancer.
We all knew.
This is like the third year she's turned 44.
Okay. I wasn't ready. But drink all that prep? Cancel brunch plans? I can't.
Ask for Cologuard. It's a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive.
No prep, and you use it at home.
False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy.
Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
Memorial Day savings start now at the Home Depot. So whether you're working on a getaway just for you or a space to celebrate with friends, find everything to make it your place with savings from the Home Depot.
Isn't it great that we save with Dash Pass by DoorDash?
Love it. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
What are we gonna do with all these bowls?
We got that covered.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Krista, it's time to fess up.
About?
You're over 45 and still haven't screened for colon cancer.
We all knew.
This is like the third year she's turned 44.
Okay. I wasn't ready. But drink all that prep? Cancel brunch plans? I can't.
Ask for Cologuard. It's a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive.
No prep, and you use it at home.
False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy.
Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
I'll show you the ropes, kid, show you the ropes.
Boom, baby.
Get it.
There it is.
all the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
What a phenomenal day for lacrosse. Charlotte North. Jay Alter with you. Boston College, a 9-6 lead at the half. Our third of 4 quarterfinals. It was Fallon Vaughn and Yale that really controlled much of that first half despite trailing by 3.
Vaughn was involved in all of the first 4 scoring plays for this Yale offense. She was finding ways to beat the face guard, combat the pressure, get a switch in the 2-man game, but then in the second quarter, it was the Boston College offense and Emma Lapinto that attacked the seams of this Yale zone defense that is incredibly tough to crack. Lapinto's crease awareness on both the right and the left-handed side, playing off of her quarterback, McKenna Davis, earned her that 4-goal spurt.
Yeah, this was back and forth, punch for punch, and then the Emma Lapinto show ended that second half. 4 straight goals for the senior. BC goes from trailing by 1 to now up by 3 because of those 4 Lapinto goals. Fallon Vaughn and Yale scoreless for the last 10 minutes of that second quarter.
And if you're a Yale Bulldogs fan, a lot of success at the draw control circle, winning 12 of those draws in the first half, led by Jenna Kalignan.
And that's why you're never out of this game. Because of the dominance at the draw, you can turn it in to make it, take it in this second half, and you're only down 3.
So much of playoff lacrosse comes down to the adjustments that are made, especially in the second half. Going into halftime, reading what each defense is giving you, what areas you want to tweak and change in the third and fourth quarters.
So you just heard at halftime with Zubin and Rachel, Florida and Northwestern, they've secured spots. And next week, championship weekend down the road in Foxborough. 2 spots still up for grabs. Boston College trying to make it to their 8th straight Final Four. What's amazing during this 7-in-a-row stretch is if they get to the Final Four, they get to the title game. They are 7-0 in the semifinal. They got to get there first, and Yale has proven to be a tough test. Ascone tried the quick stick finish. Didn't get the timing correct, but digs it out. It keeps possession.
This Yale defense does such a great job of collapsing on the inside. They're trying to deter those passes. You see number 2 in blue, Molly McGuckin, monitoring the inside cutters. She acts as the rover of the zone, so she's always checking in and out of the inside of that 8-meter area.
Nee Pfaff, the freshman goalie for Yale, only 1 save in that first half. It was the first shot she faced, has allowed 9 straight goals since. "20 seconds left on the shot clock. BC's been very comfortable operating in the late shot clock situations, though. Trying to squeeze it in.
Another one-handed ground ball effort. We saw it from Fallon Vaughn in the first half, this time by Emma Lapinto. Almost an unbelievable play.
Shot clock down to 5. Curling around the cage. Lapinto, tons of contact. And this will be a free position as Emma Lapinto tries to make it 5 straight goals to her name. Remember, she finished the first half scoring 4 straight goals.
See the way she sneaks up the left side of the crease there. Cross check as she was driving in. That was the foul that was called.
Lapinto is only going to have 2 seconds here on the shot clock. That's time to just step in and let it rip.
Officials are headed over to the table to review this one. It's an official review, so the officials called for this one.
Unlike in the first half when we had a coach's challenge from Yale, this is an official review.
I'm not sure if they're looking at the foul or looking at the goal circle, the crease area.
Well, when it's a coach's challenge, you can only challenge a cardable foul or a goal-scoring opportunity.
Right.
What makes this a little more nuanced is the officials can challenge anything. At any point in the game, the officials can come together and say, this is an official review. We want to take a look at something. It could be the time. It could be the time that they want to review. It gives both teams an opportunity to settle down at the start of this second half. So much on the line for both programs. Erica Bamford trying to take Yale to the program's first ever championship weekend with this star-studded senior class that has already accomplished so much in their Bulldogs career, whereas BC is looking to get to an 8th straight Final Four.
2 tickets already punched to the Final Four in Foxborough, Massachusetts, Gillette Stadium, just a little over a week away. The pinnacle, what all these teams have their sights set on when the season begins.
So the officials did add 1 more second to that shot clock, so 3 seconds on it. Lapinto winding up, steps in, lets it rip, and scores! It's like Emma Lapinto is playing with a magic stick. Make it 5 straight goals for Lapinto.
Lapinto having the best season of her career. Had 3 goals and an assist in that second round win over Stony Brook. She picks right back up where she left off. This is an incredibly difficult shooting angle for a right-handed attacker. And a right-handed attacker trying to take an outside shot, no less. Does a tremendous job of garnering so much speed behind that sidearm rip that she's able to blow it past Faf.
Emma Lapinto, 5 straight BC goals. So the Eagles have gone from trailing by 1 to now leading by 4. And those 5 Lapinto goals scored in an 8-minute and 18-second span. Incredible.
And done in many different ways, but it's been her crease presence. She drew that 8-meter foul because of her off-ball awareness, sneaking around the crease, able to handle pressure, take that foul, and then bury the 8-meter.
This is a bit of a danger zone for Yale. They did well to stay within striking distance in that first half. How do they prevent BC from separating here?
If you're the Yale offense, you got to go back to what was working, finding the one-on-one battles that you're able to win, and that means giving your attacker space to operate, as you see Collignon go down the alley here. But Collignon is drawing the double team, and that's what you want if you're Yale, but you got to find the backside quicker than this Boston College defense recovers.
And you see number 7 there, Fallon Vaughn, Yale's best player, continuing to get shut off with the face guard.
And despite being face guarded in that first half, they still found a way to get her involved and get her touches. Anytime a defense chooses to face guard someone, their game plan is to completely deny them of the ball. So you want to try to work that player into the offense.
15 seconds on the shot clock. Vaughn trying to break free of the face guard. And it's stolen away. The defense continues to deliver. The freshman, Caitlin Cole, with a great read there.
You can see how far out this Boston College defense pressures.
Cole has played big minutes for a freshman defender. And it's another defender who's gotten into the offense here. Morgan Smith, who's been terrific, the transfer from Penn, former Ivy Leaguer, stepping up for a free position. How about this, the defender, Morgan Smith. Will she go to goal? Charges in and scores! Morgan Smith, the defender, cashing in on the offensive end. And Boston Boston College leads by 5. First goal of the season for the defender. What a moment.
Caitlin Cole reads the pass on the perimeter, triggers transition, and it's her line mate, Morgan Smith, on the defense. Staying aggressive all the way through the play. Steps up to the center hash and buries her first goal of the year.
Krista, it's time to fess up.
About?
You're over 45 and still haven't screened for colon cancer.
But I feel great. I get like 20,000 steps a day in heels.
Okay, but if you're 45 plus, you should screen even if you feel healthy. So ask for Cologuard. It's a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive.
No prep, and you use it at home.
False positive and negative results may occur. Those at high risk should use colonoscopy.
Skip the drama. Ask your provider or request Cologuard online.
You find yourself.
Bleu de Chanel.
At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
Boston College with all the momentum right now. The Eagles have scored 6 straight goals. Starting to separate in this third quarter. Charlotte North, Jay Alter with you. Even though BC's got those 11 goals, I feel like it's the defense that has really set the tone for the Eagles right now.
It's been the swarming defense that's been recovering on a string against this Yale offense, coming up with turnovers on the perimeter, and then staying on through transition. You saw just a play ago, it was Caitlin Cole and Morgan Smith in transition. We've seen Shea Baker stay on and provide an offensive sense from defense to offense.
But speaking with Boston College's coaching staff this week, their head coach, Acacia Walker, saying they wanted to set up that transition defense into offense before Yale could get set in their zone. They definitely have been most effective in transition today.
A lot of times when you play against a zone, that's on the game plan somewhere, is to try to beat them into their settled defensive set. But this Yale team has been so steady at the draw control circle, winning the 50-50 battle.
But Yale went scoreless for the final 10 minutes of that second quarter. They're still scoreless in this third quarter.
And they've got to continue to get Fallon Vaughn involved. She's being face guarded, she's being shut off, but that does not mean she needs to be eliminated. She's getting set up in a screen right here. But all it takes is being on the same page as one of your teammates to try to get the ball and set up to attack right here. As that offensive player being shut off with a face guard, you dictate what your defender does. So you've got to be able to pop out, get the ball, try to draw the double, and then your job is done. You can move the ball, but they're unable to do that in this settled set here.
Another caused turnover by this Eagles defense. They have been incredible. Shea Baker with the clear, flips it to Rachel Clark, cuts in, and scores! Rachel Clark, defense to offense. And BC doubling up Yale 12-6.
Another transition opportunity coming from a caused turnover. This has been what the Eagles have relied on in the second and third quarters of this game. Despite this looking like maybe a slow break situation, Rachel Clark is still dodging in transition. So the zone has not had time to set up. They're still trying to read the layered cuts, get into position, and Clark has the awareness to dodge in those moments, in those gray moments, in that fast to slow break scenario. That's when a zone can be so vulnerable as they transition in, try to get set up, but they're not ready to approach the dodge.
99 goals on the season for Clark. A sensational senior season after winning a national championship as a junior. BC looks well on their way back to championship weekend, where they will try and defend their crown right in their backyard. 7 unanswered goals. An inspired team effort right now for the Eagles in this quarterfinal.
Here, this Yale defense, you got to continue to apply pressure on the perimeter and get on the hands of the Boston College attackers who are trying to throw those passes into the gaps of the zone, generating assisted opportunities. You got to be big in the shell of the zone.
Davis spins free, finds Clark. What a goal! Davis to Clark. And that is the 100th goal this season for Rachel Clark.
Stop if you have heard this before. McKenna Davis to Rachel Clark. Davis is being so aggressive from behind the cage, dodging hard, drawing more than one member of the Yale zone defense, and that's what's opening up Clark on the inside, and she's so heads up. Davis is when she's dodging to cage. Clark presents such a big target on the inside and is able to catch and release in the same motion, that quick stick finish as the goalkeeper, Pfaff, is turning from behind the cage upfield. Clark is so lethal with the ball in her stick off the dodge, but I think what's even more impressive is her evolution as an off-ball player and her ability to read the defense going to the ball carrier and how to cut to the back pipe.
Clark, 2 goals in less than a minute for BC. For a quarter and a half, this was back and forth. 6 lead changes. It was 4-4 at the end of the first quarter. Yale led this game 6-5, but now 8 unanswered for BC, and the Eagles have blown this game wide open. Yale has lacked that finishing touch to end the scoring drought.
Right here, we touched on this in their last possession, but that's all you need to get someone in the face guard the ball. 2 players on the same page and a sliver of space, and you allow Fallon Vaughn to get involved off the dodge, and then she opens up the rest of the offense.
You know what it's like, Charlotte, to play with that face guard. Do you feel the need to push it when you do get the ball, though, in those opportunities?
It can be frustrating, but you can get involved off ball, as you saw there by Vaughn cutting through the inside of the 8-meter. You can get involved in other ways, and I think for this Yale offense, you saw when she did get the ball and approached her dodge, the double team, the slide comes. That is her doing her job. Doesn't need to do more or less than that. And sometimes when you're in a face guard and you're not getting as many touches, you lose sight of that.
And that possession ends with Vaughn forcing that shot there from the outside. Dolce, a comfortable stop. Yale had gotten into a really good rhythm the end of that first quarter into the second quarter, and now it is all BC. Tamelis weaving in. Charge called. It'll be Yale ball.
Katie Clare had her feet set there as Tamelis was trying to dodge through 2 members of the zone.
Opening weekend for the WNBA's 29th season is almost here Saturday on ABC. A terrific doubleheader. Liberty taking on the Aces at 1. And then it's Caitlin Clark and the Fever hosting Angel Reese and the Sky. Coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 12:30.
Unbelievable slate of games in the WNBA. Excited for those.
I know as a Dallas native, you're excited that Paige Beckers is in Dallas.
We got Paige Beckers. We won the lottery for the Dallas Mavs, #1 overall pick.
You buying any of the conspiracy? We don't get a lot of conspiracy theories in lacrosse, but you get a lot of draft lottery conspiracy theories. Yale is desperate for a goal. They have not scored since the 10-18 mark.
And if you're this Yale offense, you've got to go to either Fallon Vaughn or Jenna Collignon, because they're able to draw the double team and get the defense to rotate. You're seeing a foul committed, so they give the ball to Vaughn. She's able to start with it, and the immediate double comes.
Nearly 17 minutes without a goal for Yale, and it's another turnover. Green card will come out, and the Eagles will go back on the power play.
We've seen a relentless pressure in the ride by this Bulldogs team, trying to come up with extra possessions and cause turnovers, but it's Emmy Pascal who commits a foul in between the 30s, so a 1-minute releasable penalty.
And that has to be a frustration foul. When you were right in this game and now it's slipping away from you. How has Boston College commanded this third quarter, not allowed Yale to get an inch back?
Well, they've attacked in transition, and when you attack in transition, you force the defense to collapse. And then in the settled set, it makes your job a little bit easier as you pull the ball back out and remain patient to generate the best look. But when you're playing against a zone defense, you've got to keep the ball moving, and the Boston College offense has done that for the majority of the second and third quarters.
Rachel Clark steps up on the free position and scores! Rachel Clark cashes in on the power play. Six goals today for Clark, 101 on the season. Between Clark and Lopinto, they have blown this game wide open for BC.
An unbelievable first step, and it's the risks, the change of levels. Plays so tall, has such a vertical release, such an elite goal scorer, and does it in a variety of ways.
Hey, that's pretty good company when you're wedged in between Charlotte North and Sam Apuzzo.
Clark is one of the most fun players to watch in NCAA lacrosse. Such a pure goal scorer with both hands. We've seen how dynamic she's been all season off the dodge and off ball. An opposing defense's nightmare.
You know, it's funny. I remember when you scored 102, because you did it in that national championship game. Sheehan said, we're never going to see 102 ever again. Here we are just a few years later, and Clark is about to tie it, and if BC keeps winning, she's going to blow right by it. And yet, she doesn't even lead the country in goals because Madison Taylor's at 105.
Truly remarkable. Two of the best goal scorers that we're seeing in the college lacrosse landscape. Been such a pleasure to watch.
What makes Clark so effective when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net?
I think she has an insane ability to shake defenders 1v1 with her explosive dodging. But to me, it's her ability to control her shot with her wrists. It's such a unique release. You see how tall she is, and she uses her height to her advantage, but her release point is so hard for a goalkeeper to track, uses her wrists so well, better than anyone right now in college lacrosse.
If you're a little kid in the backyard, is there anything you can do to practice your wrists? Like,
a lot of wrist strength comes from wall ball, comes from working on your stick work, and it comes from a lot of reps, as you can imagine, but working on your wrist strength is what gives you so much snap, and it gives you a lot of leverage when you're going downhill.
Yale ends the drought with Collignon. Jana Calignan, who set the Yale scoring record in the win against Syracuse in round 2, notches her 66th goal of the season and ends a 22-minute, 43-second scoring drought.
Calignan sets herself up here with space, and that allows her the ability to operate in the 1v1 battle. Gives her space over the top and underneath. She reads the pressure of her defender, handles physicality so well, and brings her dominant hand, her right hand, back to the inside of that 8-meter and gives her a better angle on cage. Calignan always trying to generate those high percentage opportunities with her dominant hand, does such a good job of dodging through pressure. And this Yale offense has to continue to get her involved, especially if the slide or the double team is not coming to Calignan. Give her room to operate.
In nearly 23 minutes between goals, when you take a look at all the firepower that Yale has, these seniors on offense have done it all for this Bulldogs program. The most wins in a 4-year span, back-to-back Ivy League champs. To keep them contained for more than 20 minutes is a remarkable defensive team effort by BC in this quarterfinal. And how about that? 15 shots on goal for BC. 14 of them have found the back of the net.
Unbelievable efficiency, and this Yale defense has now made an adjustment. They are electing to face guard McKenna Davis. Maggie Bellissimo, the freshman, is back there behind the cage, denying McKenna Davis the ball, the quarterback of this offense. So much of these offensive sets for the Eagles have gone through number 3.
And that's risky because it leaves more room for Clark, who came inches away from scoring a 7th goal in this quarterfinal. But if you're Yale, you got to try something, right?
And I think they're recognizing how much is going through X or through the crease area in Davis. And as Davis has dodged from behind, she's forced that zone to collapse in on her, and that's opened up those skip passing lanes or the interior passes to Clark. So the adjustment comes in, trying to deny Davis of the ball.
Crafty take, bouncer goes! Ashley Kiernan, the sophomore. And it's back-to-back Bulldog goals.
The hesitation game by Kiernan up top, recognizing that she's got an open lane to cage and turning on the Jets. The Boston College defense was expanding their pressure beyond the perimeter, so there was no help. Defense ready. Kiernan recognizes that, goes straight to the inside and buries the left-handed shot on the run.
Well, we've talked at great length about this stellar senior class. Kiernan, just a sophomore, part of the group that'll look to carry this tradition forward. Back-to-back Ivy League champions, back-to-back trips to the NCAA quarterfinals. A senior class that has raised the bar, and they're not going quietly after BC had separated back-to-back Yale goals to cut it to 6.
And 3 of them are on this draw control unit as Herod comes in and collects another draw control. Herod was pulled off the draw in the first quarter, but put back on. But this is a Yale draw unit with 3 seniors, Jenna Calignan, Fallon Vaughn, and Taylor Lane.
Keisha Walker taking a timeout. Her team on possession with a 6-goal lead, less than 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Still to come, North Carolina and Princeton. Another ACC versus Ivy League matchup. 2 conferences that have had an incredible postseason. Both the ACC and the Ivy League getting 3 teams to the quarterfinals, making up 6 of the 8 teams that made it to the second weekend. You see Florida and Northwestern, they have won their way in to next week's semifinals right down the road in Foxborough. Boston College with a comfortable lead here. Then, as we mentioned, North Carolina, Princeton still to come.
You're going to see two elite offenses tonight in that 7:30 matchup to wrap up this quarterfinal day. Princeton's got a three-headed monster of their own in Mackenzie Blake, Haven Dora, and Jamie McDonald. They've been so tough to stop all season long. And of course, the #1 scoring offense in the country for North Carolina, headlined by Ashley and Chloe Humphrey, the Humphrey sisters, and their midfielders who have provided so much depth for this Tar Heel team all season long.
You see those semifinals Friday, May 23rd, 3 Eastern Time on ESPNU. And for more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. We are so looking forward to 4 amazing days of lacrosse, the women and the men, crowning a national champion in the same location, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. I'm excited to see the tailgating, the awesome atmosphere that those 4 days will provide. And as we touched on the first half, if BC can keep this lead, we'll see plenty of neon making its way to Gillette and what'll be semifinal right in BC's backyard.
Just so special to have the Final Four in the same place for the men and the women. A 4-day stretch of unbelievable lacrosse on the men's and the women's side, where champions will be crowned at Gillette Stadium, where the New England lacrosse fans, the New England youth lacrosse players will be out in full force.
How many autographs are you going to sign during those 4 days?
I'll be up in the booth with you and Mrs. Rush.
You're going to have to do the wrist workouts that we were talking about with Rachel Clark. So looking forward to everybody being together in Foxborough for what is always a special weekend, championship weekend. BC well on their way to securing that 3rd spot to join Florida and Northwestern. Right on cue, Rachel Clark again! Make it 7 goals for Rachel Clark. And she ties the Boston College single-season record with 102 goals.
Absolutely dissecting off ball. Look at the subtle change of speed by Clark. McKenna Davis so patient with the ball. She knows exactly where she's going with this pass. Rachel Clark looks like she's going to exit the 8-meter. Slowly lulls her defender to sleep, turns around, cuts back to the ball with a wide open lane.
Big ground ball for BC. A minute remaining in this 3rd quarter. The Eagles leading by 7.
Julia Colarusso, the freshman, has come on strong to this draw control unit as of late, providing a spark on those 50-50 ground balls.
.30 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. BC turns it over.
Uncharacteristic miscue on the perimeter pass. This Yale defense really trying to contain this Boston College offense with perimeter pressure, but also not giving up those passing lanes.
Yale desperate to find something in the final 4 seconds of this quarter. They don't get a shot off in time. And BC 1 quarter away from a trip to Foxborough and championship weekend to defend their championship crown. A commanding 7-goal lead as we head to the 4th quarter.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. and life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these to Dad.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
AE drink Sprite? AE drink Sprite.
You want to hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Coach, you've separated in that third quarter. What was the difference in that quarter for your group?
We strung together really good plays starting from the draw. Then we had a defensive stop, then a goal, and a few consecutive moments like that I think we were able to build some momentum, which is something we've been working on. I think it was a total team effort.
Good luck closing it out.
Thank you.
Well, Acacia Walker in Boston College, 15 minutes away from a remarkable 8th straight trip to the Final Four. You see that third quarter really blew this game wide open, Charlotte.
And we talked about adjustments coming into the second half. So much of playoff lacrosse is about adjustments, and you heard from head coach Acacia Walker, and you saw the transition play from defense to offense, trying to string plays together. But if you're this Yale Bulldogs team, you got to continue to attack on the draw circle. That was an area where they had success in the first half. You got to continue to earn possession and get your playmakers involved. We have a goalie change for this Yale team. Cami Donadio, the senior, is now in between the pipes.
Anything can happen in this fourth quarter. Charlie, you mentioned the goalie change. Well, Yale has been comfortable with these fourth quarter comebacks. This is all in the last month. 5 fourth quarter comebacks in the last month, including 2 last weekend in the NCAA tournament against UAlbany and Syracuse.
Unbelievable comeback against Syracuse in that second round game, led by Jenna Kalignan, number 14 in blue, who's been taking a majority of the draws.
If you're going to come back, it has to start with winning the draw. It has to turn into make it, take it in this fourth quarter.
And this is a Yale team that relies on their senior leadership. And those 3 seniors, Jenna Kalignan, Fallon Vaughn, and Taylor Lane, have to be involved on the offensive end.
You have no margin for error here if you're Yale. You have to play the perfect fourth quarter to give yourself a chance. Credit Boston College at the end of that second quarter and the entire third quarter, building this comfortable lead, making it a mountain to climb for Yale.
Electing to operate on the 6-on-6 set, trying to get Jenna Kalignan involved off the dodge. They've got to give her more space and stretch the backside once the double team goes.
A foul committed by Morgan Smith will set up Ashley Kiernan on the 8-meter. Shot clock will be reset to 37. I think Kiernan will look to go to goal here.
I think you gotta. In this situation, you have a great angle here, and you gotta continue to string plays together.
Dolce makes the save. Her 8th of this quarterfinal.
Kiernan, the lefty there. I would have liked to see her take that in maybe with her right hand, giving her a better angle on cage. That's a very difficult hash to approach with your outside hand being your left hand.
Boston College in no rush here. With a 7-goal cushion. Rachel Clark has 7 goals herself in this game.
This Yale defense has to continue to be a presence off ball as those cutters are coming through the inside. That's where this Boston College attack has found a lot of success, those assisted opportunities.
Lapinto feeding to Davis. Couldn't get free. Clark trying to hunt it down. Yale, a failed clear. Driscoll in perfect position for the scoop and score.
An error in the clear leads to a loose ball right on the doorstep for Molly Driscoll, who picks it up for the one-timer right in front of the cage. If you're the Yale defense, you did everything that you could to earn that possession back. But a failed clear. And Driscoll's right there. Heads up awareness by the sophomore who's had a tremendous jump from her freshman campaign, providing such an added layer of offense on the left side of the field for Boston College.
And Donadio, who got subbed in between the third and fourth quarter, that was the first time she had touched it.
And that's hard. You're coming in the fourth quarter. You're coming in cold off the bench and trying to clear the ball successfully and give the ball back to your offense to give them a chance.
You see that Yale averages 8 goals allowed per game. Boston College just doubled that up today, 16. This game was tied at 4 after the opening 15 minutes. Midway through the second quarter, Emma Lapinto scored 4 straight goals to really separate. But it has been all Boston College in this second half. You've played for Acacia Walker in May. What is it about the way she coaches that her teams play their best lacrosse of the season in May when it matters most?
Unbelievable process by the coaching staff, the attention to detail, day in and day out, understanding that each day you have a task and you have a job to do. And that's how you inch closer towards your goal, and you approach every day trying to get better in certain areas of the game, and you just stay locked in and focused on your opponent and your task at hand.
Because when you can go to 7 straight Final Fours, we're 11 minutes away from making it 8 straight Final Fours, it's got to be something special that the coaching staff has done. The players change, but the expectations remain the same. Good look here. Caroline Burt, the senior, cashes in.
And this is a result of getting Fallon Vaughn involved. You saw her on the 2-player game, the pick play that caused the defense to switch. Vaughn dodges downhill. Driscoll got her hands free, but it was Cami Donadio who comes in off the bench, providing a spark in cage. And it's off the ball movement after the double team goes. Caroline Burt on the doorstep. This is what this Bulldogs offense has to continue to do. Involve the players that can win their matchups and get the defense to start spinning, and then those opportunities will present themselves. Yale making a change at the draw control. Sky Carasquillo comes in, has provided so much for this draw unit all season long, but this is the first time we're seeing her today taking the draw.
And Shea Baker wins it for Boston College. a battle-tested BC team. A lot of these players were part of that national championship a year ago. They are 10 minutes and 30 seconds away from what would be a rematch from that national championship game. Boston College Northwestern this year meeting in the semifinals. And a clash of the two goal-scoring titans in Madison Taylor and Rachel Clark, now both over 100 goals on the season.
Both Tewaaraton finalists, both elite goal scorers. Madison Taylor, the left-handed dominant force, and Clark on the right side of the field.
Ascone rings it off the pipe. Whoever wins that game could very well win the Tewaaraton.
We're seeing two unbelievable seasons by those two in terms of pure goal scoring and dominating matchups in the biggest of moments.
And Taylor for Northwestern scored 10 goals in the second round win against Michigan. 10 points today. Just amazing.
And they're going back to the two-player game with Vaughn, trying to get her touches on the perimeter.
Kalignan with a burst of speed. Couldn't finish it.
Reese violation on that rebound there. And that's the look for Kalignan again. So hard to score on a goalkeeper like Dolce. When you're running out of daylight, you're losing your angle. So getting that shot off earlier is sometimes the better option.
BC has built this 7-goal lead. They can afford to sit on this ball, wind the shot clock down. Every second that ticks off a second closer for booking a trip to championship weekend, 25 miles from here in Foxborough. Or next week, we will have 4 straight days of awesome lacrosse. It starts on Friday with the 2 women's semifinals, Saturday the 2 men's semifinals, and the women's championship on Sunday, and the men's championship on Monday. Now, interesting enough, Princeton is the only program that can still get the women's team and the men's team to the Final Four. Princeton coming up next. All the Tigers need to do is knock off undefeated #1 North Carolina.
A tall task at hand for the Tigers program, but they're playing with some fire. They won the Ivy regular season title, but then they lost the Ivy championship title to this Yale team. Felt like they didn't play their best in that game and may have cost them that home game, that seeded position in the NCAA tournament. So they're coming into Chapel Hill with some fire for sure.
Good move there. Dolce the save. That's what makes Shea Dolce special.
11 saves on the day for Dolce. Last 5 games, she's been at 64%. Typically for a goalkeeper in lacrosse, anything over 50 is remarkable. Just a ridiculous number by Dolce, a Tewaaraton finalist along with Rachel Clark. We're seeing one of the best goalkeeping campaigns that we've seen in a long time this season by Dolce.
Well, her numbers are actually better than Megan Taylor when she won the Tewaaraton for Maryland.
And in that year, 2019, Megan Taylor, the only goalkeeper who's ever won that award, was at 55% save percentage and 8.4 goals against average. For reference, Dolce's at 56%, and she's at 7.5 goals against.
Almost an incredible finish there behind the back, but no angle for Lupinto. You see Boston College with the 16 goals. It makes you think what Stony Brook did in the second round, keeping the Eagles to 10, was truly a remarkable achievement, because even in those games against North Carolina that BC's lost, scoring hasn't really been the issue. There's just so much offensive firepower on this BC team.
The Stony Brook zone defense is one of the toughest to crack, with the swarming pressure as a foul is committed inside the 8-meter. Jenna Calignan will get a penalty shot opportunity.
Now, nobody in the history of Yale lacrosse has scored more goals in a career than Jenna Calignan. And she adds another to her tally. Makes it a 6-goal game. Time might not be on the Bulldog side. 5 minutes and 38 seconds remaining as Calignan pulls one back for the Ivy League champs. BC still in control, leading by 6.
Yes, my salad is here. Thank you, DoorDash.
I love Dash Pass by DoorDash. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
So what's better, your food or the savings you get with Dash Pass?
Tough call.
Here's a better question. What are we gonna do with the rest of these bowls?
We got that covered. Stacking wins in here.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Find yourself. Bleu de Chanel.
At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these to Dad.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
We are 8 days away from the best weekend in the sport, championship weekend. And this year, it's all in the same place. The women and the men coming to you from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, just 25 miles from Boston College's campus. And Acacia Walker, 5 minutes and change away from making it to an incredible 8th straight championship weekend. And if they get to the semifinal, they're 7-0 in the semifinal. The championship, they won it in 21 and in 24 last year.
A remarkable run. I don't think people understand how crazy that stat is. Getting to 8 straight is one thing. Advancing to 8 straight Final Fours and then potentially 8 straight title games would be even more ridiculous. Unbelievable job by Acacia Walker and this Boston College coaching staff.
The 7-0 in semifinals is crazy. And that will be tested against Northwestern, a rematch of last year's national championship game. It's actually been the national championship game each of the last 2 seasons.
Those 2 teams met earlier this season. Early February game, indoors, up in Evanston. Boston College won 13-9. But you know those teams want to face each other again.
Well, that is going to be a fantastic semifinal game. BC has been in control much of this second half. Been strong in possession. They have had a terrific finishing touch. Charlotte super efficient on the offensive end.
They've been patient. This is a Yale defense that has been so strong all season long. This is a zone defense that likes to jam the interior like you saw right there. They like to knock down those passes, come up with those cause turnovers without committing fouls on the perimeter. They do such a good job of that. But the Boston College offense has remained patient.
Molly Driscoll goes low and scores. What a release point by the sophomore. And Boston College leads by 7.
Driscoll has the hands. She has the creativity and the style to her game that allows her to take shots like that. She can generate such unique angles from sidearm, underhand, overhand. She has all three in her toolbox, and that's what makes her such an elite goal scorer on the left side of the field.
And coming up, quarterfinal Thursday continues from Chapel Hill. Number 1, North Carolina, Chloe Humphrey and her sister Ashley, a dynamic duo. The Humphrey sisters set to take on Princeton out of the Ivy League. Your Boston College is 18-0 this season against teams not named North Carolina. They're 0-2 against the top-seeded Tar Heels.
See the numbers there by the Humphrey sisters. 77 assists to Ashley, 77 goals to Chloe. It speaks to the style that both of those players have and how well they complement each other. One of them likes to dish, the other likes to score.
So there's an official review on the Boston College goal. And you know Boston College wants another crack at North Carolina as we take a look at what the officials are reviewing here.
Doesn't look like it was a dangerous follow-through of sorts. Maybe they're looking at the contact Driscoll made after the shot with the collapsing defenders. I'm not sure what's reviewable on that play.
Yeah, you got me. But it gives us more opportunity to kind of dive into next week, 8 days away, championship weekend coming. I'm taking another look, Charlotte. A little bit of contact, but
looked like unintentional contact with the momentum of Driscoll after the shot, but it was after the ball had crossed the line. I'm not sure if that's what they're looking at.
This is where we need Dana Boyle down on the field.
Definitely.
So Boston College, Northwestern, and Florida on their way to the Final Four. So those three teams were also in the Final Four a year ago. The newcomer will be North Carolina or Princeton. That game coming up very shortly, about 17 minutes from now in Chapel Hill.
What a day this has been for lacrosse fans. One of the best days of the year. You've got non-stop action on television from noon all the way through that last quarterfinal game with a spot at championship weekend on the line. It does not get much better than this.
And you know BC wants another crack at North Carolina. Has been their nemesis this season as the coaches come together to get the call. But they're going to have to get through Northwestern in what is just going to be an incredible showdown in that semifinal. You can see Yale head coach Erica Bamford frustrated with that call. So Katie Clare, we've been told 15 in blue, gets called for a cross-check on the pass.
And they're so they're not even looking at the goal scoring play, they're looking at the pass. That was a late hit there on Lapinto.
And a good catch.
Great catch by the refs, and Boston College will start with possession because of that foul.
And they can just run this clock out. 4 minutes between Boston College and an 8th straight trip to championship weekend. And that's when you know you've built a perennial power, when every single year, your team's showing up to compete for a national championship at the Final Four.
Going to be an unbelievable matchup between number 2 Boston College, number 3 Northwestern. 2 teams who have become mainstays at championship weekend. 2 teams that have progressed as the season has gone on, look a lot different now than they both did when they met in February.
And the 2 top goal scorers in the nation, Madison Taylor and Rachel Clark. That'll be must-watch lacrosse next Friday from Foxborough. LaPinto rings it off the pipe.
Clark draws so much attention. Defenses will collapse as soon as she gets one step inside the 8-meter. That's what frees her teammates around her. You got LaPinto as a step-down shooter on the right side, and then you've got Driscoll, who's got range on the left side. Really complementary style of offense.
And if you're Boston College, you certainly don't need to score here. Just can work this clock down. Clark always looking to score, and that's history. Rachel Clark, 103 goals on the season, the most in Boston College program history. Passing Charlotte North, a record we never thought would be broken, and Rachel Clark does it.
Unbelievable moment for Rachel Clark. Couldn't be happier for her. What an unbelievable goal to do it on, showing her range. One of the best goal scorers we will see in this sport, showcasing the strength of her wrists from the outside.
Awesome reaction there as Rachel Clark passes you, Charlotte.
Unbelievable.
Most goals in a single season in a Boston College uniform. 8 of those goals coming today. And to score 8 goals in an NCAA quarterfinal. Wow.
Just speaks to her dominance in the biggest of moments. She has delivered 4 goals in the second round win over Stony Brook, 8 goals today. Truly a remarkable player, a remarkable person.
And it ties a career high for goals in a game for Rachel Clark. We were just talking about what a treat that's going to be to watch Madison Taylor and Rachel Clark in the semifinals 8 days from now. And the previous NCAA record was 103. And they're both going to pass that in the same season.
And in the same game, they'll be going toe-to-toe in the national semifinal. What a cool moment for the sport and for those 2 dominant players.
Dolce way out of her cage, trying to cut off the pass. Well, Yale gave Boston College their best punch in the first half, and BC responded. You could argue, Charlotte, this is Boston College's most complete performance of the season. As Yale strikes with 1:13 to go. Quick restart there. This is a senior class. Taylor Lane's one of them that is finishing strong. A program-changing class. Most wins in a 4-year span in school history. Back-to-back Ivy League championships and a shovel shot by Lane to add to the highlight reel.
So much happens when the ball is in Fallon Vaughn's stick. A one-touch pass to the inside where Taylor Lane shows off her hands and her creativity with a backhand shot. Those 2, Fallon Vaughn, Taylor Lane, they have really catapulted this program into the national spotlight. Going to back-to-back quarterfinal appearances. Most wins in a single season a year ago with 17. They follow it up with another dominant year this year, winning back-to-back Ivy League titles. And they've been at the forefront, that senior class of 16 players who have held strong.
It's interesting to hear you say good things happen with the balls in Fallon Vaughn's stick, because for much of this game, Yale couldn't get it into Fallon Vaughn's stick because of the face guard.
And credit to the Boston College defense, who have made it very difficult to get Fallon Vaughn involved. But it just speaks to the type of player Vaughn is. We've seen her dominate at the midfield for so much of her career, playing more of an offensive role this season, but still coming up with so many game-changing plays for this program, and is a big reason why this Yale team has had so much success this year and throughout her whole career.
Rachel Clark, an 8-goal performance, winding down the clock. BC headed to an 8th straight championship weekend. The Eagles win it, 18-11. And Rachel Clark will take the headlines, but a great team performance to knock out the Ivy League champs in the quarterfinal.
A complete performance, top to bottom. Offensive efficiency and chemistry on full display. The speed and the strength in transition from this Boston College team. And of course, the defensive prowess by that unit and goalkeeper Shea Dolce, the Tewaaraton finalist, with 12 saves on the day.
And we will talk to Rachel Clark in just a moment. 8 goals for the senior. It's a BC history. Passing you, Charlotte, with the most goals scored in a single season for a Boston College player with 103. 8 of those coming in this quarterfinal.
An electric player, to say the least.
So no surprise, our Capital One player of the game, Rachel Clark, and those 8 goals.
Scores in so many different ways. We talk about her ability to shake a defender off the dodge. Today, it was her slicing through the heart of this zone defense off ball, fearlessly attacking the gaps, presenting a target inside, and her wrists, some of the best in the game.
And we're joined now by Rachel Clark. Rachel, congratulations on the win. Before we get to the win and go into championship weekend, we got some business to take care of. You passed Charlotte North for the most goals in a Boston College uniform, 103. How does that feel?
I don't know. I don't really have words to explain it. I'm so grateful for my teammates. I'm so grateful we got this win.
Rachel, one of the most complete performances from top to bottom for your team today. What gave you guys the edge in this matchup?
I think we wanted another day with each other. Like, going into halftime, like, we wanted it, and I think we weren't satisfied with our first half, and we just want another day with each other. And going back to Gillette, it's Boston, like, there's nothing better. I think we wanted to win today.
You got more days together. You're going to Gillette to compete for a national championship. When you transferred to BC, it was to play in weekends like next weekend. How excited are you to defend that national championship?
It's just so surreal. It's a dream come true.
Congrats, Rachel. So happy for you. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Rachel Clark, now the single season Boston College goal scoring in a single season, 103 goals. Remarkable by Rachel Clark. And there it is, a rematch of last year's national championship. Northwestern and Boston College, they'll meet in the semifinals. So Florida, Northwestern, BC, they've secured their spots down the road at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Who will be the fourth? Will it be undefeated #1 North Carolina or the upset-minded Princeton Tigers? That game coming up in just a few minutes from Chapel Hill. For Charlotte North, Jay Alter, our terrific crew at Chestnut Hill. Boston College, moving on.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan, but at Corbridge